the systems are very fluent even when they're wrong. And when systems things fluently wrong, and you've built up all of these instincts that fluency correlates to accuracy, it's very easy to not notice
Now,
mistakes.
define fluency there.
Fluency here is really about the appearance of truth and the smoothness of the language. And the systems we've built, really, they are fundamentally systems designed to produce outputs indistinguishable from the truth. That's different than outputting correct answers. And that means that there are a couple problems. One is even the system itself doesn't know when it is outputting a correct versus a incorrect answer, or when it's guessing. And the reason for that is it's always guessing. It's just sometimes it guesses right. And that puts a big load that we're not used to as users of the systems basically confidently and fluently giving us answers, which are sometimes right and sometimes wrong. And you
But
can't
now,
tell.
why the load? Because as you just said, I actually love the idea of framing this as digital literacy because I don't think we've had a guest that really talks about it exactly like that, which is very cool. Now, you contrast it with Google, and you described what I think is very familiar to most of us, where we get a bunch of results, and then it's incumbent upon us to sort through them. Now, why is it any different with an AI? Is it because the appearance of confidence that lowers our own inhibition, or why is there a difference?
I think it's two things coming together. I think it's partly how the technology works. So if you go to something like ChatGPT, fundamentally all these technologies, anything that's backed by like an autoregressive next token predictor, the way they work is at their core, they're predicting the next token based on what's come before. They're completion engines. And so if you, in its kind of raw state, you have it complete the sentence, the population of Berkeley is, what comes next? Well, the system, it's not a database. It's not like there's an entry or not, and it has a metacognitive awareness of whether it knows the answer. It's just a matter of what density is predicted over these next tokens. And some numbers will come out. And because the system has such a generalized knowledge of language and context and many aspects of how the world works, the population is going to be the kind of population a city would have. In fact, maybe it's seen enough web pages that it'll actually output the correct number. Or maybe it'll output a plausible but incorrect number. All you see is the population of Berkeley is, and then a number. And you don't know whether it's right or not. There's no certificate of truth that comes with that.